As we continue to celebrate educators during Teacher Appreciation Week, I thought I would share 5 lessons for working with administrators. I have worked at schools where there is a good, solid relationship between faculty and administrators. I've worked in other schools where the us versus them mentality is entrenched and a bitter rivalry exists. Navigating a working relationship with your administration is critical, not only to your success in the classroom, but to your mental health in one of the most taxing professions. Here are 5 tips for working with administrators. Number 1, open dialogue is critical. Now, many administrators will use the phrase open door policy, but they seldom have it. Regardless of their inability to communicate or their openness, your ability to communicate the instructional needs of your classroom is vital to your success. The alternative is to have a one-sided relationship in which the needs of your students are at a disadvantage because of your lack of advocacy for their needs, your needs, presumably all student needs. Number 2, you both have different goals. Some of you may think that the classroom instructor and the administrator have the same goals, but they don't. I mean, they have the obvious ones, classroom, safety, instructional goals, but the reality is that they have a macro level vision for the school shaped by district, the superintendent, and other policies. You may wonder why they are so fixated on a particular lesson or a format, but that's because your vision centers on the micro level. You are more concerned with your students, their test scores, but the administrator is responsible for everyone. Sometimes that distinction is lost or underappreciated. You may be responsible for 130 students throughout a year, but they may be responsible for 1,300. Having different goals is not a bad thing, but if we aren't honest or aware, we approach their role in the classroom with a very limited perspective. Number 3, leadership programs are institutionally ineffective. I have worked with dozens of administrators. I have a master's degree in ed leadership myself, but the graduate work done as a necessary step to begin a career in administration has very little to do with understanding how people work. Education leadership programs lack the appreciation of leadership principles. Ed leadership programs are fixated on rules, laws, policies that protect the school, but seldom attention is given to how the school should be shaped. As a classroom teacher, I wish I would have learned early on just that, because then I would have approached my conversations with them differently. I wouldn't ask why they did this or why they didn't do that. If you are unsure about something, communicate with them, even if it doesn't seem like it would be of any value. Leaders learn, and quality leaders learn from their staff. Number 4, administrators do care. It is easy to become cynical about school leaders, but most do actually care about education. They may have a different perspective, but individuals do not get into leadership roles just for the pay increase. That being said, give them the benefit of the doubt that they are there to support the students, families, and more importantly, you. Not extending them this professional courtesy will limit your support towards them. This lack of trust will inevitably diminish the effectiveness of your team, department, and the school as a whole. And number 5, use leadership as a means to improve your craft. One of the most challenging aspects of this job is to some degree the complacency that it affords educators. If you want to improve your trade, become a better educator. Reach out to your administrator who has the access, knowledge, and leverage to help you become the best teacher you can for your students. By doing this, you will embrace all of the previous lessons. You'll open up a dialogue with your administrator. You'll understand the larger picture, move your vision from the micro to the macro. You will allow your leader to refine a skill or practice, and you'll be able to see just how much your administrator cares.